Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's Fibrific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. I actually have craft out. I haven't done any crafts since last week. I've got the blanket going yet again, so and my brain is starting to function more like a brain. I'm pretty impressed that this week I've been having, while I'm having the same number of naps, the naps are shorter. So that is good too. All right. So before the stream, we had Kelly pop in. So hello, Kelly. It's great to see you. Thank you for wielding the wrench. Knitspin Girl Creations is here. Thank you for joining in. Sally with her wrench as well. Sally, it's so good to see you. Bianca is here as well. So great to see you. And for those of you that are watching but can't chat, it's great to see you as well, the working or lurking squad. And it's great to see you. Molly Finney is here. It's so good to see you've made it today. So I was having a chat with a creator friend, and we were having this discussion about how hard it is focusing on what is your interest when you've actually got a lot of interests. And I kind of had a bit of a giggle, and he was just like, what? And I said, well, a lot of us crafty types, we have to juggle that all the time. So we could have an interest in a game, an interest in movies or television series, like hardcore nerd interests, right? Like going to conventions and all this sort of stuff. But also love yarn, like love knitting or love crocheting. But then there's those of us that love knitting and crocheting and weaving and spinning and dyeing, all of the things, and trying to balance that time between just getting good time for each thing. And we were sort of discussing it more in like the creator's perspective, as in someone like me who has two channels on totally different topics. And I would say equally passionate about both. Which is hard because I'm like 100% all in on each one. So how can you be 200% in? But anyway, so yeah, we were just having this conversation. So let me know in the chat, do you have things that you struggle to, like things you love to do that you struggle to balance with other things you love to do? So like, I get it. Like there's things that we don't love to do, like you might love housework, but there's chores and there's tasks that must be done. Like as in going to work and, cleaning, washing, all those sorts of things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you're passionate about, things that you love, but you love equally, and trying to balance which thing that I love am I going to do with this portion of time that I have. Vampire is here. It's so good to see you, Vampire. Wondering how your projects are going. You had a few on the go there. Kelly says, I love your earrings. I never see you in earrings, and they match your top. The matching the top thing is just serendipitous, right? What's happened is Abby has had some gorgeous earrings made for me, except as you've said, you never see me in earrings. I don't wear jewelry. It's not something I'm big on, but I do have pierced ears. And so what I'm doing is I'm wearing these are sort of the heaviest. Before I get into like the super heavy, like this is all my jewelry. Like I said, I don't wear much jewelry. Now, I do have some gorgeous earrings that a friend made for me, which she actually hand made little sheeps. They're glass. They're very heavy, and I don't wear them because they're very heavy. Or I don't wear them very often, I should say. So anyway, so Abby's had these earrings made, and they're like little discs, and they've got Louis' face all over them, and they are super adorable, and I want to wear them, but they're a bit heavy. So I'm getting my ears used to wearing earrings again, so then that I can wear these other earrings that are heavier than these. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So anyway, so I'm finding them distracting. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, something's touching me. And Tim's laughing at me. He's just like, it's just your earring. And I'm like, oh, okay. Cheryl Lacemaker, I haven't seen you in ages. It's so good to see you in a live chat. Francis is here as well. Hello, Francis. They are cute. Love the sheep. I love the sheep too. The sheep are adorable, absolutely adorable. I got them quite a few years ago from my friend when she was making, she makes the glass beads and she was making other animals. And I said, any chance that you could do a sheep? And she was just like, yeah, like what kind of sheep? I'm like a Shaun the sheep. And she was like, okay. And so she ran with it. But yeah, so I want to hear about how, I want to hear about how you balance your various passions. So whether it's balancing knitting lace with balancing, um, you know, reading a good book, or you know what I mean, like things that, like there are some things like as crafters we're exceptionally clever. Let me just put that this way. Um, and there are some things that we can do at the same time. So we can sometimes, obviously it depends on the project, but we can sit and craft and watch a show or listen to an audiobook. And I've seen actual humans who can knit and read a novel at the same time. I can't, but like actually like need to turn the pages kind of reading. Um, so just trying to, so how do you choose? What gets the priority? What gets the priority? Let's have a look here. I used to wear earrings and wearing heavier ones, but they stretch out the lobes. So back to simple and light. Yeah, look, I used to wear earrings all the time. And I think it was because, like, my mum, ready for overshare, everybody. My mum loves jewelry, right? Loves jewelry. She's got rings for all of her fingers, and they're really cool and, like, interesting rings. And some of them are like big, long ones that are like just metal. And she has like multiple piercings in her ears, and she wears necklaces and like, and so I have an appreciation. I was actually saying to Tim, I have an appreciation of jewelry, and I love jewelry, and I love it when I get it as a gift. But I love to collect it. I don't love to wear it. So there'll be occasions where I'll be going out and I'll get all gussied up and I'll put earrings on and stuff. But it's not the usual. It's not the usual. Thank you. Do not haven't been one of your lives very often. No, I've noticed. But I also understand time zones. Kelly says there's not enough time for all the hobbies, hence why I'm avoiding falling down the spinning rabbit hole. Well, at the moment, I have no choice. I can't spin. Even if I wanted to see if my brain would let me spin, Macy ate my drive band off my spinning wheel. Well, she actually chewed the drive band into all these like little pieces. So she's just gnawed through it. I don't think she's like eaten it as such. She's just destroyed it. And I don't have a spare. So I'm going to have to put in an order and order some more. No balance. Obsess over one thing, then the next. But I can read a book and spin at the same time. Wow, I can't. I can watch television or listen to an audiobook, but I can't read a Dead Tree edition. It's tricky to read subtitles and a lace chart at the same time. Yeah, and that was what I was saying. Like it depends on the project, but it actually also depends on the show. I have to watch shows that are in English, so it does limit. So if there's there's some shows that I love that I have to watch the subtitles, can't craft while I'm doing those. Vampire says, not enough hours in the day. I love crocheting, knitting, reading, PC gaming, watching shows and movies. But at the moment, I'm not doing much of anything until I get an eye test. Oh, you need to prioritize caring for your eyeballs. You only get two. I do that. I knit while watching shows, even with subtitles if the project is simple enough, and also do audiobooks. There you go. I don't wear much jewelry, but my favorite auntie recently gifted me a beautiful gold and turquoise and pearl bracelet. That sounds gorgeous. It really does. But yeah, sometimes it's a special thing, isn't it? And that's just what you do. I crochet and listen to podcasts or audiobooks. Yeah. Francis says, but I can't knit without watching my hands or needles. See, and this is the thing, like we've worked out, even with like, because the brain is not being super awesome with craft for me. We've worked out that as long as I'm not watching my hands, I can do the craft at the moment. And I'm actually I'm beginning to get a theory, and I've got to go and get something tested. But I'm beginning to think it's not what I thought it was, and that it could be something else. Because I've got a sore ear, so it's probably got something to do with the sore ear rather than anything else. Anyway, because like when I put my head down to look, it's actually a lot better today. Oh, that's positive. That's cool. But when I was putting my head down to look, this side would swim first and then this side. So it was very weird. But yeah, so I even then, like what I was going to say is even then I still had to look at my hands every now and again to make sure I was putting my hook in the right spot. And while, I can make sure, I'm just going to dismiss that. While I can make sure that I'm watching the majority of a show, I do need to glance down on occasion and just double check what I'm doing. If I'm knitting something super basic, I can normally get away with it a bit more, but it's definitely one of those things. All right, let's look here. Sal says that she's definitely more into gaming at the moment. Awesome. Yeah, and that's where I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, Francis. So yeah, or something along the lines of it's more of an ear issue than any of the other stuff. Okay, let me. I do have craft. I've been playing with the cameras and the lighting, so who knows if it's any good. I don't know. I've been moving things around. I'm testing some things up. What's happening is my big light, the big light that I have here, it's very bright and I can't move it further away because there's a wall. I cannot physically push it any further away. And so I can't on that particular, it's an old light and I can't adjust its brightness. So it's either off or on. But what I'm thinking is I have another light like the one I have on this side, which I can adjust. I have to do it from behind, like, it's on the device. It's not anything flash. Again, another old one, not wireless connected or anything like that. Again, it's off or on. Well, no, it's not off or on. I can adjust the temperature, warmth, and I can adjust the brightness, but I can't, like, it's harder to control. Like this one I can turn off with Google. The other one I can't. Anyway, so I'm thinking I got a second one of these. So I'm thinking of pulling this big guy out entirely and just throwing on my other little square one just to test that out. But I was like looking at it and I'm like, oh no, there's only 5 minutes to the stream. I can't do it right now. Chintamani has got Squishmail, or actually it's not. Is it Squishmail when it's a spindle? I don't know. But a new layer of the bearded dragon Tibetan spindle. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. We do need photos. So in the fun zone, in the Discord, please, please, please pop your photos. That would be amazing because we need to see it. We absolutely do need to see it. Bianca says she doesn't want to go down the gaming rabbit hole. I found a middle ground with the gaming rabbit hole. I uninstalled all my proper games from my computers, right? Because I would just be like, oh, I'll just play Stardew Valley for like 10 minutes and then realize 3 hours later that I'd played for 3 hours, not 10 minutes. So I uninstalled that. I had to put it aside. But what I do have on my iPad, I've got a couple of little, just mobile games. And I find that I'm more inclined to just play those for a minute or two, just as a, when I'm filling time, not so much filling time, but need my brain to stop thinking about one thing and then move on to the next. Sometimes just a level in a game is enough. And because the levels are pretty quick, I can do it that way. It makes it easier for me. I know not everybody works the same way, but that's what I do. But every now and again, I reinstall Stardew Valley. Like if I'm on a break or having a holiday or something like that, I'll reinstall it and I'll play for hours and hours and hours. Totally forget how to play again. Basically feel like I have to start from the start. So, and then I don't really play many other games. I really should find some games. I used to play this one game. It was called Glitch, right? It was an MMORPG. It was my first MMORPG, which is the massive multiplayer online role-playing game. And the thing I loved about it was the graphics. You can still go and look at the graphics, the beautiful artwork that they used and the music. And it's just like you sort of, when you were playing it, it was actually relaxing. And you just trot around on side quests and doing things and it was just really lovely to play, and you could chat with the other players and because of the kind of game it was, I never came across another player that was rude or anything like that. And then they shut it down which was so disappointing. It got shut down a long time ago, right? Like I'm talking at least 10 years ago. And then the game developers, the people who developed the game, actually developed Slack, which is a tool that's used by businesses for keeping like your group conversations and things like that. And you're just like, really? That's where you went after Glitch? Like, oh my god. Glitch was just so beautiful. And then onto this, and you're just like, it's really, really, what's the word? Where it's just like purpose built, does its thing, no aesthetic beauty, utilitarian. I think that's the word I'm looking for, utilitarian. Let's have a look here. Oh, I did. I saw it, Sally. Because I still get all the messages of like there's an update. I don't want to know. I don't want to look. I play Wordle and Sudoku, but that's not really gaming. It's not gaming as such, but it is playing a game for sure. So, but yeah, it's definitely there. Like, and that I feel the same way about my little mobile device games. So things like what am I playing? I'm playing Mystery Manor, which it bugs me that you have to earn so many stars before you can do anything. I hate games like that, but this one's got me intrigued. The storyline's got me intrigued. I'm like, great. I'm going to be playing for 900 years just to do two things. And then there's also another one that I'm playing, which is Lily's Garden, something like that. I can't remember, but it's another one where you've got to do tasks to earn stars, and then you can, or you got to play like games to earn stars so that you can then go in and do the tasks and make things pretty and choose flowers and stuff. So yeah. Let's have a look here. I play more on Xbox and Switch nowadays, so I haven't played Stardew in a while. There you go. I've got a PlayStation 4, but I don't play many of the games over there. I used to, and there's no real reason why I haven't. I just don't think about it sometimes. It's really sad. My PlayStation 4 gets used more as a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. I've been losing myself playing Dinkum on Steam. I don't know Dinkum. I'll have to have a look at it. Actually, should I even go down that rabbit hole? I don't even know. Shannon says, I've been playing Animal Crossing. It's fun to decorate. Abby used to be right into Animal Crossing, but so that she's got a Switch, but I've not really played with the Switch that much, but I definitely am interested. Sal says, that's the one that I opened up at retreat and got 12 free hours. Is that Lily's Garden? Yeah, it happens every now and again. Sally says, I would love a PlayStation 4 or 5. Yeah, I've got the 4. I've had it for a long time. And then we were actually able to get, so I can't remember which way around it was. I think we got the PlayStation 4 with the credit card awards points, and then went and bought the VR headset and some extra games. I think that's the way we went, and like controllers for the VR headset. I think that's the way. It was either that or the other way around. We bought the PlayStation 4 and then got all the VR stuff with points. I can't remember which way we went. But anyway, we only paid for half of it. Well, technically, if you're using credit card awards points, did you pay for it all? Because, you had to spend the money on the credit card to get the points. I don't know. Never really got into gaming. I play a few mobile games every so often. Yeah. Yeah, Wabadoo. That's Lily's Garden. That's right. Good morning, Gamer Widows. How are you going? There are some games I'd love to try that are Sony exclusive. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really have I don't really do the games that way. A quick random question. Oh, here we go. Actual craft talk. Let's dig in. Which side of a garment, as worn, do the buttons go on a woman's cardigan? Ah. I think do the buttons go on the right for a woman's cardigan? I don't know. And on men's it's the left. I thought it was the right for ladies and left for men, but somebody else please jump in and check and just have a look. Oh, see, looks like I've got it wrong. I've got it wrong. Because in my brain, I'm like holding, maybe I wear a lot of men's cardigans. I don't know. Left for Leanne, left for Pat J. Oh, Chintami has said that she picked up the Game Widow's spindle bag from her Etsy store and it is perfect. Love that. Absolutely love that you're happy with it. Chintami says, does it really matter which side the buttons go on? It does. Well, it doesn't, but it does. Like some people really care. And I personally don't because I wear both men and women's things, so I don't care. But some people do care, and there's a side. There's a specific side. I don't have the book that would tell me handy, and I don't have a cardigan, a female girl cardigan handy, so I can't check. Oh, Leanna's actually got buttons on right now, and so she's just checked it. There we go. Good morning, Leslie. It's great to see you in the chat. Francis says left as well. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I was like, when I was like, I'm like holding the button in my left hand and then thinking about pulling it through to the right. I don't know. But I do wear a lot of, men's tops. So I'm probably also just confused. But I love that you guys are all in here helping each other. Oh, there you go. Chintami says Google says left. Excellent. Good to know. Good to know. Left for the ladies, right for men. So, Knitspin Girls, excellent point. I think it's the buttons on the left and the buttonholes on the right. Also not enough pockets. Yes. That is also why I do hunt down some men's clothing sometimes, is there's just not enough pockets in ladies' clothing. I would like to know in the chat, those of you that wear ladies' clothing, how many of you have preferred a better shape, like fit, over the area where the pockets sit and have it more fitted? Would prefer that nice, tailored fitted look, or would you prefer pockets? Because I was chatting to somebody who makes clothes and I was like, I would buy more of these pants off you if they had pockets. And that was the discussion. Well, actually, lots of people prefer that tailored fit and don't want pockets. And I'm just like, who doesn't want pockets? But it could be me. John O'Brien, using one of his member chats, happy birthday to me in the US, not Aussie land. So it was your birthday yesterday. Is that what you're telling us? Happy birthday, John. So glad you could jump in and join us. I hope you had an amazing day today and got to spend some time doing things that you love to do. Google says it's because we hold babies on the left so we can undo and do up stuff with our right hand. Okay. I think I held my baby in my left hand. No idea. I hadn't thought about it. Pockets. Shintami says it depends on the clothes, whether she wants pockets or not. No, man, I want pockets every time. I want pockets. Knitspin Girls wants the pockets. Talia wants the pockets. Shannon wants the pockets. Chintami said I went through a phase where she hated pockets, but now she wants pockets. You can still get the tailored look with pockets, but the pattern modification is required. Yeah, it's probably like too much extra work. Leslie says, I'm a bit lost without pockets. Oh, he left work early to go and get an oil change. Okay. It's back from the days when women were assisted to dress. Okay. Francis says, I no longer buy clothes without pockets. Me too. If I'm looking for pants, it's got to have a pocket. Dresses needs to have pockets. I don't buy many skirts. Actually, don't buy that many dresses. I bought one skirt recently, no pockets in it. Regret the decision. Sally says pockets and they got to be deep. Vampy says pockets. Tali says less pockets, more handbag. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you got like for me, if I just want, I need to be able to fit my phone in my pocket. I carry my phone constantly, right? I use my phone for everything. I carry it with me constantly. My pocket has to fit my phone in it, and I have to be able to like bend over or whatever without it falling out. They're the rule. That's what I want. When I make dresses or clothes for the granddaughter, she always wants pockets. It depends on where the pockets are. That is true as well. That is true as well. Pockets have to be also be able to function, not these token ones that only fit a lip balm in it, must fit a phone. Agree 100%. If it can only fit a lip balm or a coin, it is not a pocket, it's a pouch. It's like, thanks for the pouches. And I especially hate it when I think I've bought pants that have got pockets on, like, I don't use pockets on the back so much, but I do notice it on the back more than the front. And it looks like, you know how sometimes when you buy pants, you need to unstitch the pocket because they want it to drape beautifully on the hangers. They actually put like a little tacking stitch to hold the pocket closed. And then every now and again you realize, oh, no, there's no tacking stitch. It's a fake pocket. It looks like there's a pocket, but there's no pocket. And you're just like, ugh. I've started sewing pottons into my jeggings as they don't have them. Women used to have huge pockets under their dresses tied on underneath. There is a lady over on Instagram. She has a YouTube channel as well. I cannot think of her name. She makes these most amazing skirts, and they're tied on, so they're not elastic waist. But the first section that you tie on is like a little front panel that's just basically a front panel like over your tummy with massive pockets, and then you lift the back up and tie the rest around, and the rest of it's the skirt that comes around. It's just phenomenal. Love it. I'd wear those skirts. Must be functional. Oh, come back here. Must be functional pockets. Yeah. Frances says she doesn't do handbags anymore. I still do a handbag because like I can't fit my keys and my phone in a pocket, so I need both. I need both. I like pockets, but I don't know, they'll bulge really quickly unless it's jeans or shorts or something. Yep. Phone definitely needs to fit without falling out. Absolutely. I don't use a purse, so pockets are very helpful. Sally says when she buys track pants or trackies, as we call them here in Australia, I go for the men's because their pockets are deeper. Yeah. I think pockets, because I use a cane, pockets are so valued for me now. Yeah, because a handbag gets in the way when you're on a cane or you're on crutches or something like that. Any designer of clothes that says the taper is more important are just lazy and don't want to spend the extra time and cost of adding functional pockets. I agree. I stopped buying from that person. When they came back with that, like, I was, people prefer a more flattering fit than pockets. I was just like, okay, I've worked out I'm actually not your ideal customer, so I'm going to move away to somebody else who actually does what I want you to do. Bernadette Banner does it. Is that the adjustable skirts? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, the apron skirts. Yes, adjustable wraps. Yes, they're historical. That's the thing. She's modernized, like as in rewritten the patterns so that they suit how we read patterns now. Absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. And the pockets are enormous. She can fit an iPad in there. There's these enormous pockets. And you can't tell by looking at it, she's got an iPad in her pocket. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I carry around a project bag. I need a handbag. How can I carry my spindle and knitting otherwise? A project bag or a really massive, enormous spindle pocket that you can tie onto your waist and have it just dangle. Think of it like the historical ladies did that. If I need more than my phone and my keys, then I have to take a bag. Yeah, look, I'll be honest. While I absolutely love having pockets, I usually do still carry a handbag because, like, I need to make sure I've got a Ventolin with me. I need to make sure I've got, pile of stuff with me. But I don't want to be forced into like lugging the handbag everywhere I go. Sometimes I want to be able to just leave it in the car or in the boot and have my wallet and phone with me and keys and not have to think about it, you know? I get very frustrated by the fact that I'm forced into carrying a handbag everywhere. My daughter wears men's pants because pockets. Her favorite pair of tradie pants are tradie pants because they have a ton of pockets. She does a bunch of historical sewing. Yep. Turns out it's not the generations that are out of touch, it's the clothing designers. I think you might be right. I just like, I've there are things that from that era that should stay in that era for sure. But I think some of the clothing ideas were amazing. These women would make one or two beautiful dresses and that would last them the year. And then they would have like a couple of day dresses that they would rotate through. And they would have these amazing aprons to protect the fabric. And they would think about it and they would buy top quality fabrics. That's where the no strings attached. I mean, I think I've discussed this with you guys before. The saying "no strings attached." Everyone's like, "No strings attached" usually means like that there's no hidden costs, no hidden secrets. No strings attached is actually a haberdashery term from the weavers. If they find a hole or a mark or something, they would add a string off to the side of the fabric where you could follow along and then find the fault. That's where no strings attached were. So people like ladies would come in and be like, I want, 7 yards of this fabric, no strings attached, which means they want the top quality. They don't want any sort of like faults or imperfections in the fabrics. I can't remember where I read that. And I was blown away by it. I was like, oh my gosh. It's funny how something that's said so often gets changed, the meaning changes. My son had pockets on his baby onesies. Yeah, he needs that to stick his like pacifier in it or something. Totally out of touch. Trying to comment and take photos of stock is tricky. Yeah, you're gonna have to choose. Just like we were saying at the start of the stream, sometimes we have to choose between our passions. I always use a handbag to hold my purse, phone, and meds, but I prefer pockets for my travel tissues and keys. Yeah, absolutely. Like there's things like I want to put my phone in my pocket. Yeah, I want the whole 9 yards, no strings attached. Yep. Because was 9 yards the full bolt? I think 9 yards was the full bolt. So that if there was like patterning, there was not a cut through the pattern. It was like the logical end or the start of the patterning as well. We just did it for the sake of it, put stuff in there. Hold this for me, son. Yeah, that would be funny. Like, can you just put this in your pocket? Because I don't have any. My 3-month-old has a pocket and I don't have any. So yeah. Let's have a look here. I'm going to crochet for a bit. So I am still working on Abby's blanket. It is still not long enough yet. Those of you that are playing along at home. And for those that haven't been around a bit, I did catch COVID. I've had a really not awesome time with it. I've not crafted like out in the living room in over a month. Now we're beginning to think that it might be an inner ear issue. So, which didn't come around till, so, like it's probably been exacerbated by all the other COVID symptoms I had. Ended up in hospital a little bit, just a day, but it was, got checked, had some scans and stuff done just to be reassuring I wasn't going to cark it. But yeah, just really unable to concentrate is a big thing. I've got to do these like things in like I've realized I've got basically till lunchtime. What I can get done by lunchtime, my brain is clear. It is not foggy anymore, which is great because waking up with the foggy brain and the headache, you're just like, really? Is today going to be a day I can literally do nothing? So now I'm waking up, my brain is a bit clearer for a few hours, and I do get about, until midday-ish, and then I need a rest. And so whether the rest is an hour or 5 hours, I don't know until, I wake up. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 3 hours, sometimes it's 5 hours. It depends on what I tried to get done in the morning. And so it's slowing down productivity in a lot of things. It is just it's really sucky is what it is. But yeah, but the brain being clear when I wake up is actually very encouraging for me because it's just like, I just sort of lay there for a second, like, oh, I can think. Like for someone whose superpower was concentration and just being able to like get sucked into a world of something and just work on it for 10 or 12 hours straight without breaking, without pausing, and just doing it, to not being able to concentrate for 5 minutes has been a real slap in the face. So, yeah. Yeah, John says when he had it, he was laid up for about 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm definitely doing better. I feel a lot better. I'm definitely doing better. I'm improving. I'm not 100%. And I will be going and getting it checked, Sal, because while I don't think it's all of the problems, I do think it's creating issues of its own. So yeah, definitely want to get that checked. I don't think sleeping in headphones helps, but I can't not sleep in headphones or I don't get to sleep. They're my choices. Do you want to sleep? Yes, put headphones on. Hello, new name. I'd rather be with my cat right now. Has said, I watched one of your videos and it helped me decide on Chalgu interchangeable needle set. Thanks for the help in the process. You're very welcome. There are so many choices when it comes to the Chalgu interchangeable sets or needle sets. And finding the set that works for you is tough. Because, like, do we really need the whole thing? Like, some people do. Some people do projects like using all of the needle sizes and they need all the needle sizes. But I worked out for me, I did not need all the needle sizes. So, yeah, it's definitely a thing. Oh, that's one thing. I just need to just double check one little thing on my phone, like my calendar, just because I don't want to say something that's not true. It is true. Okay. Alrighty. This Saturday is the Fiberific productivity stream where I will hopefully, if I can make it work, have music happening in the background while we just get tasks done. I'm not sure what tasks I'll be working on, probably still this blanket, or maybe I'll try and work on something else. So, but oops, I'm at the barfy bit of the ball here. And so I'm going to. So what reminded me was Talia saying she's tackling Mount Foldmore, and I know that a lot of people tackle housework jobs while we're doing the productivity streams because it's less of me chatty. I mean, I'm still chatting, but it's less of me chattying. What have I done here? Hang on a second. I did. I botched. I do it every time. It's like I can't help myself. I have to mess up this second last stitch in this row without fail. But yeah, it's less of me chatting, bit of music playing, and we just get stuff done. We just, just dig in and work on something that has to be finished. So whether it's weaving in ends or folding the washing, things like that. So that is on this weekend. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll get that scheduled in this afternoon so you can keep an eye on the time for it. But it is my Saturday, so it'll be Friday nights for some of you in the US. And it might be just something a little bit different, a little bit fun for you to join in on if you've not done it before. I went for the small set with the 10 centimeter lengths. I mostly knit in that range. Yeah. And the thing is, you can always just buy the extra tips if you need them. Like if you need like the shorter tips, you can just go in. That's what I did. I bought you got the shorter tips. So if you want something with a longer tip, you can just go in and buy one set of the longer tips. You don't need all the stuff. Chintamani got the red and blue mini sets and a couple of extra sizes. Definitely didn't need all the sizes as I don't use them. Yeah. Francis is currently working on knitting a handspun jumper. Very nice. Shannon is making some more hats for Easter. And Leanne says on the weekends, lots of chat in the chat can still be going on. Absolutely. The chitty chat in the chat happens. For sure. For sure. Holly says, I'm bummed. I can't join the productivity stream this month. I have a family dinner. Oh, I'm sorry. I want nice knit wool socks, but I don't want to knit. And those circular sock machines are spendy. Oh, they are. For a decent one, you are looking at big bucks. You definitely need to make more than one pair of socks to make it worthwhile. But what you could possibly do, John, is find someone with one of those machines and get them to make you a pair. Is that like if you're happy for somebody else to make the knit socks for you, find somebody who has a circular sock machine and talk to them and get the socks made for you. I'm crocheting button loops and sewing on buttons I've been putting off doing for months, but the group wants the garments tomorrow. Isn't it funny how sometimes we'll just put stuff off and just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off until there's like this deadline right here. And you're like, well, I don't want to miss the deadline. So you just like scurry to get it all done. I'm making a top using the fiberific triangulum in the lace weight. It's so pretty. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. And it's going to have a little sparkle to it. Just a little glisten. Either that or I'm buying a CSM and starting a side business. I mean, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. If that's something that you want to do, that sounds cool. Some people with those machines offer the snakes for sale. Yeah, they do offer and you just got to put your own ribbing and toes in. But I don't think John knits at all. So yeah. I'm very busy with my real life, but when my Chow-Goos come, I'll be making many more mittens. I got the blue Chow-Goo cables in the 5 centimeter for flexible DPNs. Yeah, they're super helpful. They're super helpful. You'll have some fun, honestly. You'll have some fun. Just if you're going to be using them as flexible DPNs, because you need to put a tip on each end, you'll need extra sets of tips of the same size. So just keep that in mind. But you can buy little sets of what are they called? I don't sell the Chow-Goo anymore, and I can't think of what they're called. It's a little pack, and it has like the little 3 and 4 centimeter tips, and it'll have a couple of little cables. They're about 30 Australian dollars, and you got 2 tips in one size, like in one length, and 2 tips of the same size but in another length, and you could do those. Yep. So that was they were great. They were really awesome if you wanted to make the flexies. Oh yes, I did add extra tips in my standard size. It's fantastic. That's good. Photo editing time. I love my 3 mini sets. I also have a few of my favorite sizes in the longer length. And I have the DPN sock set, which I also love. Yeah, look, I've got the DPNs. Love the DPN set. So glad I got it. I've got a small set of the 12.5 centimeters or the 5-inch tips. I have added in a few of the 10-inch tips of the sizes, 10 centimeter 4-inch tips in the sizes of hats and things like that I like to do. So sort of your 4 mils and your 6 mils, depending on the yarn that I want to use. Extra cables, always extra cables. but yeah, just lots of things like that. Cheryl Lace Maker has the lace set. There you go. Chantelle says I did that and then got 3 sets of the 2.75 so I can do socks and it makes a huge difference. Yeah. Like you've just got to, the thing I love about it, right, is that if you give it some thought, you can really customize these sets to be exactly what you like and to be exactly what you need. You don't have to sort of just go with the flow of whatever it is that you've just got in a basic set. You can change it up to match what you want. And I love that about it. Do you want to know something really bizarre? I've been having problems with this little on air sign, right? Not being able to read that it's on air. Had no idea that it was because this light was pointing directly at it. Now I've got it kind of pointing up. And the on air sign's easier to read. I'm going to have to check another stream to see if I'm just imagining it or if it is actually easier to read now. I don't know. I'm going to have to check. Oh, dear. I'm used to DPNs, but I do make shift flexible DPN set with a pair of Chow Goose shorties and a 40 centimeter circ. And I love that. And it's less transitions than regular needles. Love the blanket you're making. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's just a basic waffle stitch blanket using Caron cotton cakes in beach glass. So the yarn does all the work, really. But it's so squishy. And I think my daughter would be very happy when she finally receives this. Maybe Christmas, the way I'm going. She's in her room. She's just going, what? I think she wants it before Christmas. Christmas is summer here. I think we've just hit the beginning of autumn. So I'm thinking she would really like it by winter, not by next summer. We're just talking about when this blanket's due to be finished. Like 10 years time. Aren't you wearing Louis earrings? I'm just going to explain to my daughter what I'm doing with the earrings, okay? The Louis earrings are really heavy, and I haven't worn earrings in years. So I'm putting lighter earrings in to get the ear holes used to wearing earrings again, and then I'll wear the Louis earrings. She's walked off. She's like, that's too hard, and just walked away. She's just woken up. Technically, I've purchased the sock DPN set twice, misplaced the first set with my extra DPNs, purchased again with Christmas money. They will show up. They'll turn up somewhere. I'm working on my CSC join as you go. So what's CSC? Is that corner to corner or is that something else? I decided to frog the Tunisian blanket I was making. Okay. I tried the shorties first, and then the 9-inch circs are too small for my hands. Look, I like 9-inch circs, but I also know not everybody does. But when you're making socks, and I tend to do toe-up socks, when it comes time to do the heel flap, I actually need like another needle. I need DPNs for it just to get. I mean, I can push and make it work, but it's not comfortable. Maybe it's different if you're doing top-down socks, but I just about always do toe-up socks. Okay, so it is the corner-to-corner join as you go. I have not done much work on my corner-to-corner join as I go. I'm making a gorgeous cotton one in red, white, and blue checkers. So the checks are I think they're about 4 or 5 inch squares of each color. So yeah, I don't mind having 2 sets. I use them so much. Yeah, you make a lot of socks when you're not sewing for work. Yeah, absolutely. We're like 50 minutes in, and I've not mentioned my beverages. What? So today I have sparkly water, so bubble water. Can you see the bubbles? Make it bubble. No, you can't see the bubbles. They're big bubbles. They're great bubbles. I also have coffee in my orange Yeti, and I have tea in my custom Yeti. So I am a beverage goblin today. I'm going to top up my water, which is what made me think of what I'm doing. And I'm like, I want to sip of my coffee, but I'm going to top up my water as well. So it's very bubbly. I love it. I love being able to make because I use a soda stream and I make it extra bubbly. Like they're like, just do 3 pumps. And I'm like, no, like 10 pumps, like 10 at least. I'm making socks with the 9-inch circulars for the first right now. I usually use Magic Loop. Okay, let me know how you go, Holly. Very curious. I'm not a fan of the 9-inch circs. I use 2 16-inches. I know a lot of people that like to go the 2 16s. It's really personal preference, whether you Magic Loop, do two needles, do flexies, do DPNs. There's so many options to do small circular. It's great. It's so good. What brand crochet hook do you use? I know a little crochet, but not a lot. I only got hooks from my mother and sister. I am a massive fan of the Clover Amour hooks. These would probably be pretty close to my favorite. In saying that, I also love, and it's a new love, the Knit Picks hooks. What are they called? Dots or dotties. Can one of the mods drop a link in for Knit Picks for me? That would be great. Their hook set is such good value and the hooks are lovely to use. But when I start a project with a hook, I try to use the same hook for the entire project. And so I'm not changed over to the dotties for here, but I love both the Clover Amour and the dotties. And I also I also really like the tulip red hooks. But I do have the full sets of the Clover Amour, so I tend to use those more. But I will happily interchange between the Clover Amour, the tulip reds, and the dotties, or the dot hooks from Knit Picks. Any of the above, I'm happy with. I don't like Furls hooks because of the style of crochet that I do. They don't balance properly for me. They pull on my hand and it's not awesome. But if you are a overhand crocheter, the Furls, a lot of people like Furls hooks as well. I've seen the Clover hooks in store before. Good to know they're good. They're great. They're really good. I'd say middle of the road to pricier. Like if you can grab them on a sale, they're really good. There are brands that look like Clover Amour. Make sure you're getting the real Clover Amour. I've bought the cheap sets from Amazon and hate them. You really have to be careful. Some of the sort of fake ones are good. Some of them are bad. I just think for my money, I'm just going to buy the proper ones. So rather than risk it. I've done a review here on the channel of a hook set that I got off Amazon. 0 stars, do not recommend. All right. Had to get some coffee in. Oh, there we go. Holly says that she does use knife grip and still doesn't like furls. Okay, good to know. John likes using Tunisian hooks even for standard crochet because they're long and he has man hands. Chintelle loves the Clover soft touch, which I irreverently call poopy golds. And they've got a flatter. If only I had my hooks here. Should I just go out and get my hooks off the couch? I've got all my hooks in a little thing. Should I just go and get them? I probably should just go and get them. I'm going to just give me a second here. Alrighty, I'm back. All right, so this is what I just have on the arm of my chair, right? We've got biggish wide arms on chairs. So this is just, I'm like, oh, it's a bit messy. I don't know what that's there. That's just rubbish. So the We Crochet set, or it's Knit-Picks. It's like the crochet section of Knit-Picks. I got this, which is these dots hooks, which I just love. And they're longer and they're bigger and they're easier to hold, but they're not heavy, which I just loved about them. That I was surprised how not heavy they were. And I managed to get like this holder as well and the hook set. It was a special deal and I basically paid an extra $1 and got the holder. Hang on a second. What? Okay. And so love these. I'm just like, where's my Clover Amour that I just had? What have I done with that? There it is. Okay. So just for perspective, the Clover Amour is like nearly an inch shorter than the I thought I dropped that comment off. Here we go. So the Clover Amours are nearly an inch shorter than the We Crochet hooks, but the actual shaft of them is about the same. So it's the handle that's longer. So if you do have bigger hands, these might work for you. So John, this might be something for you to give a try as well if you're up for it. But yeah, they're probably like nearly an inch longer in the handle. So they're really good. They're great. I love them. But so I just poke my things back in there. So because like, you don't just need your hooks, right? You also need scissors. You need somewhere just to dump things that you haven't put away yet. Put those back in there. I've got my chibis. The chibi fits there. That one stays out. I also have like my knitting cords, tape measures, extra double pointers of different ones that I'm testing out and trying. So I'm a big fan of the collage squares. I highly recommend those. So, and then because I've been working on some like amigurumis, there's some little eyes, some beads. I may have just filched a pile of blinglets just for myself. I don't think these are glued. I think that's why I was happy to steal them. Yeah, they're not glued yet. So, I used those. And then it's like all my little stitch markers. So I've got a little Lego man head. I've got like a little seagull, a Christmas stocking, a Christmas tree, and, like the Clover wiggly sheeps in different sizes. I just drop them in and look, more blinglets. There's blinglets like everywhere. So yeah, and pens because I like to write on things, extra scissors. And then I'm like, what's in this one? Like, let me just check what's in here. Okay, more things. Are you ready? More stitch markers. These are my I made myself some really big stitch markers that fit on my 6 mils so that when I'm making like a ranunculus, like, oh yeah, I'm just going to make myself a set of stitch markers just for when I make ranunculuses. So I've got like enough stitch markers to mark all the repeats in a ranunculus on a 6 mil needle. So I've got those. Extra wiggly sheeps in different sizes. These are my 1, 2, 3, 4 markers. So when I'm using like a magic loop or something, when I'm doing a sock or I'm doing it in the round on 9-inch circulars, but I'm using a pattern that talks about on needle 1, on needle 2, on needle, like it's a pattern written for DPNs. I use these stitch markers so that I'm like, okay, now I'm on needle 2 stitches. So I've got those. There's actually still a ton of those available in the Fibrific store if you want some of those. I've got some stitch markers that I got from the Australian Wool store, which are just these really cute little round markers with a sheep. She's upside down, Miss Jane. It's not going to focus, but little sheep with made out of wool balls. So I got those in a little container. What else is in here? More stitch markers of various oh, there's a needle. There's a T-pin. Found that by stabbing it into the end of my finger. 0 stars. Do not recommend. But yeah, just like a whole pile of like random stitch markers, like little onion rings. I really like these springless ones as well. They're super useful. So yeah, so that's what I have next to me whenever I'm crafting. Like these are just always there. Oh, and in the paper bag, I've got from Gamer Widows needle protectors. So I've got sloths. So what these do is like when you're working on a project, you just pop them on the end of your needles so you don't lose your stitches. So I've got a pile of these, but right now, handy, I have sloths, alpacas, little cutie alpacas, and donkeys. But I also have a pile of others. I love them. I have a ton of them, but I don't know where the rest of them are. They're around. I also have some baby Yodas that I was gifted by a friend. But yeah, I've got a ton of these like end protectors, which highly recommend. Game Widows, do you still have any of these in stock? Just out of curiosity, I don't know if they're on your Etsy store or not. In the basket. All right. Oh, and this is for if I'm doing like multi-strand work, I can just thread the different colors through and just, work on the different colors and get a little bit of tension on the three. It's just a cheapy one. I don't know how much I like it. It does the job. I think I got it from Knit Picks as well, but it was just very inexpensive, and I just wanted to try it, and it does the job, so I can't complain. Back in the thing for you. Was there anything in that I went over too fast? Do you want me to go back? But yeah, let me know. I'm just going back in the chat. All of my memory is in my fingers. Yeah, mine too. The hook caddy is brilliant. Yeah, look, I find that I just need lots of little bits and pieces and scissors and weaving in ends and stuff like that. So, yeah. John feels cramped with the ergo style hooks. Fair enough. And this is why there's so many different types of hooks and knitting needles and things, is because we do have preferences of what our hands like to hold. You just got to try a few different ones, and then once you've found the one you like, then go in hard. Shannon says, I can't use the ergonomic hooks. They hurt my hand. I was having a problem. I used to always use just the plain metal hooks. And I was working for a designer and I was crocheting like 13 hours a day. And I was having a problem with, I couldn't grip the hook like enough to actually work. And then I moved on to the Clover Poopy Golds, the soft touch. They made a big difference. And then I ended up with the Tulip set, which was the ones with the gray handles, which I love. I still have it around, but it's very old now. And with how temperatures work here in Australia, it's gotten sticky. Like the handles are sticky and tacky. I've got to work out a way to fix it, but I actually just think it's the actual silicone is deteriorating. So we have ridiculous temperatures here and humidity, and we don't just our temperatures can be from like a 20 to 25 temperature range in a 24-hour period, like a 25 degrees Celsius temperature range in a 24-hour period. We could get down to 18, 19 degrees overnight and then be up to 40 through the day. Like it's a bit crazy. And so the plastics and the silicones shrink down and expand and shrink and expand. It's just a thing. I also have big hands and prefer the plain metal hooks and wish those were even longer. Speaking from experience of the one thing I've crocheted. Yeah. Bianca, you're correct. Well, you never make just one ranunculus. I've already made two. So yeah, you're right. You never just make one. I bought a set of Tunisians. They're like 10 inches long. Yeah, there you go. The ranunculus is that sweater on Ravelry where the girl holds the maple leaf right. Yeah, I think so. So I made a ranunculus into a t-shirt. So I don't have mine's, I've got a 4-ply organic cotton one that's just a really nicely sitting t-shirt. And then I made one in like like a it's like a 4-ply or a fingering weight silk, but it's really open to wear with something under it. So because it's quite hot here, I have no need for a big, heavy actual sweater. I just use different yarns. I use the pattern exactly the same. I made it a little less negative ease than what they recommend, because they recommend like 40 centimeters of negative ease. Of positive ease, I should say, not negative ease, positive ease. I didn't want that. So I dropped that positive ease right down to like 20 centimeters when I was choosing my size. And I'm really happy with how they fit. It was Bianca's fault that I made them. Just as an FYI, if anyone needs to know, Bianca's fault. Francis says, "Oh, I need them. I didn't realize they existed." What are you talking about on that one? What didn't you know existed? Oh, you thought it was going to be lollies? No, it's not lollies. Pin the needle to the bag. I mean, that would make sense, but I didn't. I just threw it straight back in. I'll stab myself later on that one. Chintami needs alpacas. There you go. Shannon says, I always buy my daughter needle stoppers. She's using her skeletons right now. There's so many cute ones out there. Yes, Sally, last year's retreat bag had a set of needle toppers in them. So I'm not sure what, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so we have received some in our retreat gift bags from Kelly, but Emma also sells them on her store. Cornstarch can help with sticky silicone. I'm going to check that out because I've got an entire set of beautiful hooks that I'm not using right now because they're sticky. Let's have a look. Okay, I live in Scandinavia, so mittens and hats are my go-to. Knitting my first sweater recently, and I want to make many more for snowy winters. That sounds amazing. I've been obsessing a little over Arna and Carlos, and they're up in your neck of the woods. I was just going only a little. I haven't made any of their sweaters, but I have made some of their Christmas baubles. I do have their sock pattern. I even bought the Prim knitting needles that they use for the DPNs to try them out. I haven't tried them yet because they arrived just before my brain stopped working, and I've got 900 projects on the go, so I didn't want to start a new project to test out new needles. I need to finish some of the ones I've got, and my brain's just not letting me craft. Although it is today. I'm having zero problems. I've got a little bit of a headache, but I had that before I started, so that's not from the craft. Oh, there we go, everybody. We're making Emma do more work. Sorry about that, Emma. I'm just gonna kill this extra light just because it's messing with my head a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't change stuff too much for you, but it was shining right in my face and it was. But yeah, we're making Emma do extra work. She's going to take photos of the needle stoppers and add them to her store. So they will be super cute. I want to make a cardi with a whale on it. Okay, that's very specific. That's very specific. And and you've never made a garment. Okay. Well, then you've made socks, so you can totally make a garment. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you've made socks, you can totally make a garment. You do need to make sure you get gauge. It's super important when you're making garments. Near enough is not good enough because it could either make it too tight or way too loose. You need to make sure you get gauge when you're making garments. You know how I feel about that sort of stuff. I'm like, whatever, gauge, who cares? But when I'm using a kit or when I'm making a garment, I want it to fit. If I'm going to put that much work into something, I don't want to make it like 19 times trying to get the silly thing to fit me. I want to make it once and then wear it. So I will just make gauge. I did see, who was it? One of the big OG knitting designers. I cannot think of which one it is right now. I don't think it was Laura Nelkin. She was talking about making sure you have like emergency yarn available in your project. Now, I personally like to keep the swatch that I made, which is what made me think of it. I like to keep the swatch that I made and just launder it with the garment so that it ages at the same time as the garment. So you've got like a big pile of yarn. Um, but what she actually does is in the seam of like, here or one of the seams or somewhere not visible, she actually runs a strand of thread up and down and leaves the tail just hanging just a little bit so she can find it later. And she stores her extra yarn within the garment. And so if she needs to fix a little hole or something, she's got yarn that's been aged in the same laundering process. And she doesn't have to think about like tossing in the swatch with the load. It's just part of the garment. And I just thought, that is such a great idea. That is such a great idea. Gage Smage from John. Yeah, John, I'm really fussy with clothes, like ridiculously fussy, and like it makes it hard for me to buy clothes. That's how fussy I am. So when I'm making them, I'm just as fussy, if not more so. And if it doesn't fit properly, I'm not wearing it. And then it's like, what's the point of making that? I know, right? It's such a good idea. I was just like, oh man, that is cool. It is. It's a good idea. Are you very excited to be designing and knitting? That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. So we've got a Discord server for the Fibrific group. We have the Facebook page, like Fibrific Fun Zone on Facebook, and we have the Fun Zone over on Discord. If you've got photos of anything you want to share, any projects you're working on, over in the Discord, we've actually got a whole little channel for that sort of stuff where you can post a photo and we can all comment on it and be encouraging. If you need help to just keep going to get finished, it's really great for that as well. Hang on a second. So yeah, it's just a really great place to just go in and encourage each other and help each other, and both groups work for it. So if you don't like Facebook, jump on the Discord, or you can totally jump into both. And it's just like where we all hang out when we're not live streaming. So I haven't been in there a lot lately just because like I'm not crafting. I go in and look at the pictures so that I can be inspired, but that's about it. But I will be back in. I'll be back in. But there's some amazing conversations happening and people just being really kind and encouraging. And I love to see that. I do. What's been happening is because my brain is currently not functioning properly, I get a few hours of time in the morning. So I'm kind of like utilizing that for, okay, work stuff and client work and then lunch and then a nap. And then in the afternoon, I'll have a little squiz at the socials and see what I can do. Oh, there we go. Game Widow has got so listings up of new bags. Is that what you're saying? And now you're going to work on the needle toppers? I think that's what you're saying there. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sally's popped the link up to Game Widows' Etsy store. That is an affiliate link for me. Etsy give me a little kickback. It costs Emma no extra. It costs you no extra. Just, somebody needs to get some of the money off Etsy that they make people pay, whether it's a commission or not. Molly's been inventing her own amigurumi friends. I should post those to Discord. You totally need to post those to Discord. They will be adorable or terrifying. They could be either, right? All righty, we are nearly at the end of a row here. Our dog has got a little bow tie and it's gone around and now it's a bow rather than a bow tie. It's kind of cute. Oh, for those that saw, I posted a little while ago that Louis had been under the weather. He's starting to feel a lot better now, and it really looks like it was possibly just a little bit of doggy gastro. Here we go. Let me make it big. There's his bow tie. Is it back on as a bow?
Yeah, but it was like this before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I'm wearing Kelly's shirt.
He is a cute boy. He is definitely a cute boy. He knows it also. So how are we going? We're getting through this yarn buff. Like I'm literally working out of like this. It's not awesome. 0 stars. The ball collapsed, and because I've been moving it around and carrying it around, and it kind of, got worse. It happens. It happens. All righty, I've got to flip the blanket. I don't know how long this is now. We should probably measure it. Could we? Let's measure it. Go lengthwise. Just got to move my drinks. Bear with. Alrighty. Tape measure. No. Currently 51 inches, 130 centimeters. And I just knocked it over the cover. So Abby wanted about 130 to 140. So we're in the realm that she wants it, but I think it's too short. I think it needs to be longer. Alrighty. I have the same issue, but they usually craft in my armchair and not on a table. I craft in the armchair in the lounge room. I just got to bring all my drinks back. I normally just have it on the couch next to me. It's like a little 2-seater chair. 1 seat for me, 1 seat for all my craft. Every now and again, my family's like, you're taking up an entire lounge, right? And I'm like, yeah, there's another one over there and there's another chair there. I don't see the problem. There's only 3 of us. So I get to have the 2, right? Oh. A lounge each, yeah. I mean, we don't quite have a lounge each. We've got a 3-seater, a 2-seater, and a 1-seater. So, I mean, everyone gets a chair each, right? What usually happens is Tim and Abby end up on opposite ends of the 3-seater, and then they play the kicking game, which is annoying, but they think it's lovely and have fun with it. just realized I had the wrong view on. Fixed. Thanks, Sal. The camera. The camera. That's right. Camera. I knew what you meant. Oh, I think we're getting into a barfy bit of the ball. It's just it's got a bit more tension than I'd like. Goodness me. Wouldn't it be cool, right? If you could have like type to text while you're on a live stream? Like that would be pretty cool, I would think. Being able to have it like so that you could just talk and it would just type it in for you. That would be great. I'd love that. Because then you could craft and watch live streams at the same time. You wouldn't have to stop and type and keep going. I'm sure there's ways to do it. Like there's already ways to do it for some people. But I think with AI coming in the way it is, I've got a feeling we're going to have some more of those options coming up really soon. Oh, I bought a bottle of the SodaStream tonic mix. I love it so much, but I've gone through the entire bottle in 2 weeks. So just out of curiosity, right? I'm a gin and tonic girl, and I am noticing that I'm a bit bored with the Schweppes Indian tonic all the time. It's what I've always used. It's what I've always had. I haven't tried any other tonic waters ever. Would that be a good one for me to try, or should I just stop being a Suki Lala and go and buy one of the nice tonic waters? Will you border this blanket? It doesn't really need it. I will not be bordering this blanket. It doesn't need it. It's got like a nice enough edge on it for the most part. This camera's flickering, isn't it? I don't know. I thought I saw it flicker. Anyway, it's got a nice enough border on it. I don't think I'll add a border to it. Oh yes, try it. Okay. Oh, if you're expecting soda water and you drink tonic water, it is not going to end well. Definitely not. I bought a bottle of gin because Ryan Reynolds told me to, but I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried his aviation gin yet. I've got no comment on if it's very good or not. It's very close to the Indian tonic water, some tang and bitterness. Okay. I'll give it a try. Yeah. I mean, I've already got the soda stream. It's not like it's any great effort. It might just be the shadow of my hand that's making me think the camera's flickering. Tonic water has quinine. It gives it the bitterness, also anti-malarial. Yeah. He did a commercial for Father's Day. The drink was the vasectomy and it sounded yummy. Yeah, fair enough. My current favorite drink is the butterscotch Black Russian. You cannot drive after having one, or at least I can't drive after having one. In Australia, the legal driving limit is if you have to be under 0.05 blood alcohol. So one of those, and I'm over that, or at least I feel like I'm over it. If I feel like it, I'm probably well over it. And it is a equal parts Kahlua, vodka, and butterscotch schnapps. So it is delicious. It is easy to drink. I put it with a ton of ice. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I do. I like extra cold drinks, and it is just it's too easy to drink. So be careful with that. It's sweet, which most of my drinks usually aren't sweet, but that one's pretty sweet. And yeah, because I'm more of like a vodka and soda or scotch on like neat, whiskey neat. So I tend not to have soft drinks with my beverages unless it's soda water or tonic water. But the old butterscotch Black Russian is pretty darn good. It's not a bad idea. I might actually take it to a treat and make enough to share it. You would drink the hell out of that? Yeah. Oh, you like sweet? Oh, it's very sweet. You would definitely like it. Definitely like it. I don't mind butterscotch schnapps. I don't use it in a lot of things. But I went and I saw an Instagram ad for it was a brand of something and they made one and I just went, I'd drink that. I'd drink that. So I went and I had everything else. I just needed the schnapps. So I went and bought the schnapps and I was just like, this is really dangerous. This is really bad. I don't drink at all, so I'm very lost when it comes to alcoholic drinks. Yep. Not and yeah, like there's kids here as well, so yeah. But it's definitely an easy one to drink. But definitely no driving after it, without a doubt. See, I'm a bourbon girl too, but I like my bourbon just in a glass. I don't mix it. So there's a revolver with bourbon and coffee liqueur and orange bitters. I would try that. I've got Angostura bitters. Are they orange bitters? I don't know. I'd have to look. But anyway, I would give that a try. Where are we at? We are nearly we're coming up to the gross part of this ball here. I've got a feeling we're going to have to do some detangling and to continue on. And I have pulled aside out of the bag of the yarn 2 more balls that I think could join on pretty easily. And we'll see that. Oh, Angostura bitters are different. Okay, all right. I'll have to look into it. Oh, thank you, John. I will definitely check that out. I'll definitely check it out. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look at this. It's an issue. Why do you have to be an issue? I don't want to spend the stream detangling yarn. I just want to crochet. Don't you understand? It's like I haven't been able to craft properly in ages. This is the most craft without any effects on my brain I've done in over a month. And I'm like, I just want to craft. I just want to keep crocheting. The yarn doesn't understand. Is bourbon the same as whiskey? I've never tried it. Look, there is discussion over bourbon and whiskey. I'm not going to get into the fight. I personally think they're a bit different. I don't think it is just a locational thing. Some people think it's just like bourbon must be made in Kentucky. No, Kentucky? I can't remember. Where, it's like the whole champagne versus sparkling wine thing. I don't know. I personally think the bourbon whiskeys, like bourbon is a type of whiskey. I think they taste different. But everyone's got different taste buds, so bourbon has to come from the Bourbon region of France. Oh yeah. I drink a lot of different things. I'm not pinned down to one locale when it comes to beverages. So I would try lots of different ones. If I like it, I'll drink it again. If I don't like it, I won't drink it again. That's where I'm at with it. Oh, the yarn, please don't be tangly. Be kind and not tangly. But, that's the other thing. Maybe I'm talking about it because I haven't had any alcohol in 2 months either since I've got sick, because when my brain doesn't work, I'm one of these people that I don't I don't just drink, right? So I'm one of these people that I have to be in the mood for it and feel like it. And if I'm not on top of everything, I don't drink, and I'm not on top of everything. So maybe we're talking about it because I'm not doing it. I don't know. Oh, there we go. To be called bourbon, the whiskey must be aged in new charred barrels made from American oak. Interesting. I don't like bourbon, but I do like whiskey. Yeah, that's the thing that I think they're different. Like, because I also like Scotch as well. So, there's all three of them are similar-ish but different. So anyway, um, uh, Knitspin Girls has finished her buttonholes. Oh no! What? Everything had been stored with soaps and it stinks. Oh no! That's the downside of working in someone else's projects, isn't it? You don't know what they've done with it. I would have had to just decline. All right, I've pulled out a little bit so we can get a few stitches done. Then we'll pull out a little bit more. We'll keep going. There we go. And just to throw a span in the works, I also like tequila, which is totally different. It's made with a totally different plant. Tastes totally different, but I still enjoy it. It just depends on the mood and the temperature and all that sort of stuff. So lots of different flavors for different things. But I'm the same when it comes to coffee and tea and hot chocolates and chai. I like all of those things to a degree. It depends on on the level and all that sort of stuff as well. But I like lots of different beverages. Off to make lunch, Vanphia. Have an awesome one. Have an awesome one. I, however, can't drink rum. I am allergic to brown rum. I can drink white rum, like coconut rum, but I cannot drink brown rum. It makes me very sick. And I'm not talking the next day sick. I'm talking within half an hour sick. So I do not have that one. Luckily, it's just one that I can't have. So, I'm okay with that. Oh dear. I had to have an alcohol allergy as well, right? Like to just add it in. I've got yarn and fiber allergies. I've got cheese allergies. I've got other food allergies. I've got allergies to smells and oils, and I had to have an alcohol allergy too. Holly says, I like tequila when it's warm outside. Personally, I can't drink gin. Every time I've drunk gin, it hasn't been a good experience. My mom says it's like drinking perfume. She doesn't like gin either. I taste tested a Canadian maple whiskey, which was great. I wish I got the name of the stuff. I'd pour it on pancakes. Oh, there's so much good maple stuff. I really like proper maple. Like in Australia, it's hard to get like the actual proper maple. We have all these maple flavored things, but getting like legit maple syrup, it's like game changer. It's so much nicer. What's up, Chintamani? You got part the way through my name. You needed an adventurous life. What? I'm not quite sure what that means. Yeah, I think like we've all got different things that we do and don't like. Like I like proper chai, like made with actual spices, and I like some chai powders. Um, I bought a chai liquid thinking, oh, I'll like that. Don't like it because I've got a whole like massive bottle of this stuff that's gross. Oh yeah, my allergies. Yeah, they're all varied and exciting, ruling out things left, right, and center. Some don't like gin, even though some of them sound like something I would like with all the herbs. I'll try it and nope. And that's the thing, like I like a lot of the other beverages. Gins are not all the same. Different brands taste different. So, and I'm the same with vodka. I don't like all vodkas. Some of them just taste disgusting. Like Grey Goose vodka is gross, or at least the bottle of it that I got was. I'll never buy it again. I thought I used to buy Russian vodka. I don't buy Russian vodka anymore, right? And I'm like, I'll buy this other one, this other brand. It's like everyone says it's amazing, and it was like drinking paint thinners. It was disgusting. And now I drink vodka O, which I really enjoy, and I'm so glad. And it's Australian made. So not even imported. Grey Goose is imported from France. So and it tastes great. And it doesn't do any bad things. At least not I don't drink. It's like it sounds like I drink a lot, right? Like I'm like, oh, I drink all these things. Even when I'm feeling top of the world, if I have 2 drinks in a week, it's like a surprise. So, yeah, it's like I don't drink a lot. But when I do drink, I drink good quality because I don't drink a lot. So, yeah, look, beer, I live in Australia, right? Beer's supposed to be the drink that everyone drinks, right? But I just it's got to be really good beer, and if I'm going to drink beer, I tend to drink like black beer, like stouts and Guinnesses. Um which are a bit harder to get here, but they're about the only beers that I do drink. I do Tai Chi while drinking chai tea. Very funny, John. Very funny. Um, yeah, lots love the Grey Goose. Yeah, and that was the thing. All the reviews I'd read on it were like every single one of them was positive. So I was not expecting it to be like a if you even like, I wasn't expecting it to be so bad. Um, It's been girls as a cider girl. There you go. See, we all have our different things. Some of us don't drink alcohol at all. Some of us like different ones. It is. I love that. Like knitting needles and crochet hooks, we have options. We have choices, and we can make and we can do. So like I'm sitting here talking about all this booze, and I don't drink that much or that often. It becomes a conversational thing. Like my brothers are different than me, and they'll come over and they'll be like, "Is this the same bottle of tequila from last Christmas?" I'm like, "Yep." And they're like, "Why haven't you drunk it? Don't you like it?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I love it. I'm savoring it. I think it's an amazing bottle of tequila." And they're just like, "Then drink it." And I'm like, "I am." Like, you know? So, and that's the general discussion. Like, I think I've had the same bottle of tequila now in the cupboard for it'd be coming up to 2 years, I would say. I should probably finish it. I do like ginger beer. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, I don't care. I like ginger beer. Like good ginger beer. And cold. It's got to be cold. Oh, come on. Hello. You coming in to sit on the little bed. We're slowly getting through all of the bath here. Right, let's. I'm like, oh man, I've just pulled all this out and I'm going to have to move it to turn. Frustrations. I have butterscotch schnapps in the cupboard for my skiing days 20 years ago. Wow. Okay. Is it still good? A friend made his own Baileys. I got a bottle of whiskey, added cream, and stuck it in the fridge for about 3 years. I didn't think fresh made Baileys lasted that long because of the cream. I would be careful with that. I drink Murphy's or Guinness, but I can't drink beer. Yuck. Yes, I'm about the same. Oh, he doesn't remember much after the second shot. Fair enough. I'm such a heavy drinker. I bought a 6-pack of cider for my birthday last year and still have 3 left. Oh, so yeah, you're coming up to like they've been in the fridge for a year. Yeah. Yeah, aren't we funny? A lot of us are like this. And you know, like if you're not like this, it doesn't matter. We're all different people and we all do things differently. And whether you drink or not drink, whether you drink more or less, whatever, enjoy it. We've got to have things in our life that we enjoy, like craft. Yarn is a luxury. And, you know, just enjoy it. Make sure you get the one that you always screw up. I have to redo it anyway because I totally turned into a half treble rather than a double. And I did it again. Stop doing that. Pick it up. Go through 2. Then go through 2. Okay. Good job, Chantelle. Well done. Anyway, I think you've taught people how to do this. All right. Tell you what, I got BritBox, right? Whoever told me to watch Professor T, I'm very angry at you. Okay? I binged the whole 3 seasons and now there's a cliffhanger and it's a sad one and he gave me no warning and there were tears in that series. I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm grumpy at the same time. I can be grumpy and love something at the same time. Welcome to marriage. Yes. It was a very nice apple and rhubarb. It was an apple and rhubarb cocktail. It was very nice. I feel bad because I don't think Bailey's has an expiration date on the bottle. Like, how do I know if it's bad? I think the Bailey's that you buy in the store is different than when you make your homemade Baileys because homemade Baileys is made with fresh cream. So you're using fresh dairy, whereas with the commercially purchased one, I thought it had 12 months after the bottle was open. I've got one in the fridge. I'll have to check it. But after like the commercial one, I think they use like a long life cream instead of like a fresh one. Okay, I think I'm liking the 9-inch circulars, but I'll have a stronger opinion when I'm done with the socks. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's like the difference between homemade and commercial. The homemade does need to be consumed a lot quicker, for sure. Yeah. That's why I don't make it. Because I don't consume it fast enough. In saying that, there was a time I don't know if I should admit this. I made Bailey's thick shakes. Basically, in a blender, ice cream Baileys, zhuzh, drink it up. They were great. Used a lot of Baileys in those. And it was hot and it was summer and I could have my cold milky drink and it was delicious and it was awesome. But it used a lot of Baileys and I couldn't drive after one because it was basically Baileys was the only liquid with the ice cream. Yeah. We got and why I did it originally was A, I wanted to try it. I'd heard about it. But B, we'd been gifted like 3 bottles of Baileys and we had a lot of Baileys to get through. And I thought, well, this is one way to try it. And yeah, It was good. And they were thick shakes. They weren't milkshakes. So they were very thick, like so, it was good that way. You didn't use as much liquid, but yeah, it was very good. Very nice. Oh, there we go. Guarantee Bailey's for 2 years from the manufacturing date. Mr. Google says opened or unopened. There you go. Yeah, very thick shakes. Very thick shakes. So how many rows of blue do I normally get? 2. Okay. So I was just trying to toss out because I've got 2 balls here, and this one's got hardly any blue left. I mean, it's still got a bit, but a lot less. And then this one's, oh no, this one must be the, and this one I went straight to the brown. So just in case the blue, there was plenty enough blue. Wait, is this the wrong ball? I thought this one had some blue. I thought they both had blue. What have I done here? Maybe. So it goes blue. Yeah, maybe I jump straight to the brown. We'll see how much it gets. But we're getting close to the end of the yarn here, so I have to make a decision soon. So do we normally get 2 full rows, or we normally nearly get 3 rows? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you might have to go the one with the blue on it. But yes, that's why we tried it. Is I had a lot of Baileys and we had ice cream in the fridge, and I thought, no, I'll try it. It's one of those things, like if I like all the individual ingredients, why not give it a whirl? Let's see what we think. So we're coming up to lunchtime very soon here. Oh, and that's the other thing I've just remembered to mention. In Australia, or not in Australia, in the US, your time zones have changed over the weekend. So these streams may be a little later than you usually get them. I'm still streaming at the same time that I normally stream here. So just to sort of keep everything in line and keep everything going. Some more coffee. That's actually a great idea, Sally. I'd mix it with the 2 and then freeze it again for the Bailey's ice cream. That sounds really nice. For sure. John says that it's 9:48 on the East Coast on the 13th. Yeah, so it's basically 13:3 for pretty well the entire world other than the US, and I think about 2 or 3 other countries. I was looking into it because I wasn't sure if the whole month first thing was American only. It's not American only. There are a couple of other countries that do it, but just not many. Holly says that it's 6:48 p.m. for her on the West Coast. There you go. It's good. So 6 versus 9. So there's a 3-hour difference for you. Okay. It's kind of like the same. Do we have a 2-hour difference between our East and West Coast in Australia? I think it's 2 hours behind. It might be 3 hours behind. Is anyone here from Perth right now who's in the chat, or Western Australia who can? Because I'm East Coast Australian. Yeah, 3 hours to the left. Okay, yep. It is 3-hour difference. Oh, it's 3-hour difference, Francis says. I thought that was only during daylight savings that it was a 3-hour difference to West Coast. But anyway. Yeah, we've got a bit of a difference. So we've got, what do we have? We have the 3 time zones in Australia, and then when there's daylight savings, we have 4 because a couple of states jigger their clocks and mess up the times. That pretty well gives away how I feel about daylight savings, isn't it? Um, so yeah, Queensland doesn't have daylight savings. So the west of the east coast moves forwards and back an hour, but we don't. There's talk about trying to make us do it, but our state's very big, and the top part of the state, they really don't want it. And so they're like, oh, maybe we could make it for half the state. That would be weird. That would be weird, having half the state in one time zone and half on another. Alexa says that it's 9:50 in Perth right now. So yeah, it's a 2-hour difference. So it's 3 hours during daylight savings. Yeah, it's 12:50 in New South Wales, where it's 11:50 here. So yeah. According to Wiki, US is the only one who does month, day, year. Yeah, I thought I did some looking into it. I'll be honest, I don't use Wiki for a lot of stuff. I don't actually find it to be 100%. So I tend to look elsewhere. But I could have sworn I found a couple of other countries that do it as well. I mean, they were third world, like tiny countries, but there were other countries that did it. Oh, yeah, everyone else is either day, month, year, or year, month, day. Yeah, I definitely know there's a few that do the year, month, day, which again, that blows my mind as well. Canada has time changes. Yes. Oh, yeah, Canada, you guys do. You have daylight savings as well, don't you? Lots of places do it. I just don't understand. Like, and I suppose it'd probably be different somewhere like much further north, or further south, where it makes a difference. But I'm so close to, like, we're so close to the equator where I am, that it's like, there's no real point. Like, we tried doing like Queensland had a trial like back in the 80s when I was a kid. And I just remember it being a really big issue because it was still sunlight at like 8 or 9 p.m. And so, like, parents are struggling to get their kids to go to bed because it's still bright daylight outside when we're used to going to bed when it's dark. And it was just it was a bit of a mess. And so there was a referendum, and we said no. No thanks. We don't want that. Oh, it's only just changing to the lighter blue. All right, so I'll use the blue because I found lighter blue. Yeah, so we'll change over to the blue rather than the brown. Move that. It fades the curtains. It's hilarious. It's such a dumb thing, isn't it? It cracks me up. I just don't like it, like when I'm trying to sleep and the sun's out. I think I'd really struggle in some of those like European countries where it's like, oh, look, it's like the sun doesn't go down for 2 months. I'd really struggle. I'd need better curtains. I'd need some like good blockout blinds to make it so I could sleep. It confuses the cows. Because this is the thing, like, a lot of the farmers, they just work sun up to sundown anyway. It doesn't matter, but it just seems like that when they come in, it's like 10 o'clock at night. So, but daylight savings is an issue I don't think we can solve in the stream. Oh, here we go. Talia's done some research. The USA month, day, year is is that Japan, Korea, China, Mongolia, and then the year, month, day. USA is month, day, year. Japan, Korea, Chile, China, and Mongolia are year, month, day, and then the rest of the world is day, month, year. Okay. All right. I thought that was another country. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Okay, peeps, I'm going to head off. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your time zones. See you next week or Saturday morning. Yeah, we do. We've got our Saturday morning productivity stream. I will be scheduling that, so keep an eye out for that. And you can come in. There'll just be some music playing and some craft happening, and go from there. Oh, Game Widows has put a first 3 sets of needle toppers up. So if you want to check those out, you need to go and one of the mods can grab the Game Widows link and throw that back in. Lots of people are heading out. See you later. I'm gonna keep going. I got a couple more minutes here. And I want to try and join on this next ball of yarn because that will feel like I've achieved something. I got through the bath and I've joined on the next. And I think this next ball will probably be the last ball in the project. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Need to make sure I've got enough to weave in. Straight up yarn bath, just so I feel at home and welcome. Good job. Thanks, ball. Champion. Goodness me. What are the chances? Straight away. I see in Australia, we will say the 13th of March. Like my husband's birthday is the 18th of March. So it's actually how we speak. So we speak it and then put it the day, month, year. So, yeah, I think it's just going to come down to where you learnt to speak because we say the 13th of March here. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Link in for Game Widows' store. Thank you guys. Appreciate you popping that in for her. You can check out the new project bags as well as the needle toppers. There we go. And then we're nearly at the end of a row as well. So we've changed yarn. We've got end of a row. And then I moved the marker as well when I first started so we can see how much I've actually gotten done. I feel so productive. I really do. I feel like I've done so much. And I'm nervous to look at the marker because it'll either disprove that or prove it. Because like I feel like I've done so much more craft than I've done I feel like I've done more craft today than I've done in the last 6 weeks combined. It feels great. All right, we're at the end of the row. Let's have a look here. Oh no, look, I've done a bit. I do feel like I've done a bit. There we go. It's not disheartening at all. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. So, yeah, I am happy with that. All right, boys and girls, on that note, of my achievement, my crowning glory achievement, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. We've got a new ball in. I don't have to look at yarn bath anymore. We've done like 4 rows. Is it 4? Let me just check. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's 5 rows. It's actually 5. Oh my gosh, that's great. Could I really have done maybe? Did I move it up properly? I did. No, I remember because I had to put that one in. And then I made sure that this was marker was. Oh no, I know what it is. It's 4 rows, but I had to do an extra. I had to finish like there were like 3 or 4 stitches at the end of this row that had to get redone. 4 rows. That feels more realistic. But thank you everyone so much for joining and hanging out while I'm trying to get my craft Joe back, my Crow Joe, getting that back on the swing. We're going to be doing a productivity stream on Saturday, Australian time, Friday night. If you're on the other side of the world, jump in, bring some craft, do your laundry, whatever you want to do. It's for getting stuff done. It doesn't matter what the stuff is. You've just got to get it done. And I will catch you all then. Be good now. Bye.